Talking CRM with Jeff and David, getting the best value for the whole organization from your integrated CRM and accounting systems. David Beard, CRM Principal, and Jeff Richards, Head of Training Program Development for Sage CRM, spend time chatting with customers, resellers, and others about Sage CRM in action around the globe.
In this episode, Jeff Ryan talks about regional trends he's seeing in a country with high unemployment, patchy infrastructure, and the emerging technologies they could put to use on the African continent. Talk to us, Jeff, about your region and in particular sort of trends you're seeing in business out there, be it COVID-led or anything else. It's interesting for Jeff and myself to understand regional trends outside our own.
And think about the specific technology environment, and there'll be some things which may tip into the whole sort of the economic, political sort of differences between South Africa and the rest of the world.
What we're seeing as a trend in South Africa particularly is, with COVID, as per every other country, suddenly cloud as a conversation wasn't a conversation, it was a must, particularly where systems were legacy hosted internally. Suddenly people had to access it from home, and we had some of the most restrictive lockdowns in the world. I don't know, we were in lockdown for a long time, and it was a very intense period. And it was actually a reason why I got a job with AWCape, because the demand for hosting services was so much that they needed me to come in as a project manager as a temporary basis. So my journey in AWCape has gone from project manager to MD within just over a year, and that's just showed the growth of the project, the products that are needed, and where the business world is at the moment. So the demand in our business is very high at the moment, not just for cloud hosting, but for cloud-based products, and particularly around business efficiency, which is our key word, but looking holistically at digital strategies and how you move forward. Now, the South African context it's huge. We've got such discrepancies between first world infrastructure, education that's in the background country. We've got well over 50%, coming up to 60% unemployment rate. So you have a workforce that cannot get jobs in an environment where there's no reason why they shouldn't. Because we have large mineral wealth, we have lots of potential in terms of opportunities, from tourism. Obviously, that's with COVID's been affected, but there's a lot of opportunities in this country. It's a big landmass, and it's one of the things we're trying to grow as AWCape is to empower and get this country better. In terms of technology and how that happens and enables that, we need to make technology available to more people, and that involves the majority of people in this country still have a smartphone. The advances for us would be very much around mobile-based apps. Traditionally, a lot of them are built for your laptop or your computer first and then mobile-enabled. That's not a solution. You should be thinking mobile first. That's one of the things to leapfrog. I think, we have our own unique problems in terms of load shedding and power availability. So there's a lot of investment from a technology perspective into solar and renewable. We've actually got a solar company in our group as well. And that's, with the Internet of Things and having solar powered Internet of Things and technology, that's something that needs to be taken into account. And that's where you get your data points. You talk about CRM. How do you get information about customers that don't have a LinkedIn profile, don't have a bank account? How do you find about those customers and target those products? Because, we're very lucky that most of our customers are technology enabled. We're selling them technology, so they have to have one for technology. But there's a lot of our customers, their primary market is out there sitting in rural areas without electricity, without water. How do you know what is the right price point for those customers? How do you know what value added service you can add to them? Now, that's a very big challenge for technology to solve.
Lots to think about there, isn't it?
By way of closing, Jeff, you talk about in your strapline on your website as business efficiency. Going back to where we started with Helderberg, did you, with them or subsequently, have they, the customer, done any sort of wrap up about the business savings that they've made, the efficiencies they've got? Because a lot of CRM over the years, you will know this, has always been, well, we're not sure if it's produced it, we like it, but we're not sure what the actual results are. Have you or they done anything to quantify?
Great question, David. I mean, we obviously followed up to see, is the system working? How are you feeling about it? And I think you're right. I don't think there's been facts and figures put down in terms of what the savings have been relatively. But I think the mistake there is probably our fault as well, where we didn't actually put a control check in.
Right.
How long did it take to solve a service request?
Before and after. Yeah.
Before and after. So then you have to have some sort of measurement and control, and that's probably a very good point for a next implementation. I think, that's probably why you're walking around with a piece of paper, you've got frustrations, you've got customers calling, and then you move into an environment where you can process a lot more customer requests, and suddenly it's all automated and you go home and you're sleeping well. What is the return of investment on that? I don't know. It's probably in infinity for me. I know that I'd rather have no headaches going to sleep at night, but it's a reality that no one's probably measuring on a financial perspective.
Well, it'd be interesting to maybe dip back into it and play, post 6 months or whatever, and go, how are we getting on a post-implementation review? I remember many years ago we did an interview with a commercial cleaning company over here. And they were really hot on the whole, what have we actually changed? To the point where when we did a webinar after the fact, one of their nearest competitors rang up the same business partner afterwards and went, can I have one of those, please? So it really struck a chord, right?
Well, I definitely think, the feedback, and like I said, they're buying more user licenses to expand the functionality of the system. They want to go further with the functionality and add more workflows and users. And, so I think it really is, from a perspective, they definitely want the system and want more of it, but no one's actually put the financials down.
Well, and with the 800 residents, hopefully they're all going, well, you can't take it away from us now because it's much better than it used to be, etc.
Exactly.
But isn't that going to be one of the questions about any deal that any system that you put in? You only put in a system because, one, it's going to make you more money, or two, it's going to save you some more money, or it's going to save you hassle.
Yeah.
And that's a reputational thing. It might actually cost you more money, but very often you want to stop having to worry about it because it gives you grief, and it allows you to do something that you've never done before. And that might well be the liberating thing for Helderberg Village, because if they're able to take the hassle away, they're able to add further value elsewhere into the care that they give to their residents.
I think, just to your point there, we had a webinar ourselves where we interviewed a client, and they're in the outsourced recruitment business, and they actually outsourced their hosting solution to us. And I bring them in because what we kind of delivered from a Sage CRM system, what you talked about, the hassles, and he basically said the reason why they went from the hosting perspective is he, as head of finance, the CFO, he was getting all the IT calls. He was getting people saying the server's down, what's going on, whatever. And he was like, besides the cost saving, because there's a massive cost saving to moving hosting, the same thing that we're talking about here, there's a cost saving. He used to go get calls at 11 o'clock at night and the server's down and I can't access whatever. And suddenly there's this mad panic and there's heart attacks and you can't actually put a value on that. I don't know what you would, but that is what we try and do. Business efficiency is more than just the financial reward.
How much is my sanity worth?
Yeah,
you're quite right. It's a good place to bring this to an end. Thank you, Jeff, for your commentary, your reflections, and the story about Helderberg is really interesting. That's why we came to find you in the first place, and it's nice to hear the whole story. Thank you for coming.
No, thank you very much for your time. I really appreciate it, guys.
Thank you so much, Jeff. Bye-bye.
You've been listening to Talking CRM with Jeff and David, getting the best for the whole organization from your integrated CRM and accounting systems.